If you're wondering why I sound like this, it's because I'm sick. I'm a real YouTuber, guys. If you haven't heard the news, player housing is coming to World of Warcraft, and I think it's going to be an absolute banger. They actually put out 2 articles covering the subject, and I'm here to go over everything we know so far about player housing. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel and like the video if you guys want to see more gaming content from me in the future. But let's dive into it. They designed player housing around what they call the 3 pillars of housing. They said, when developing such a large new feature, it's useful to start by defining its pillars. They help the development team get on the same page before we start building, as well as providing guiding light when making decisions and identifying priorities. It's important to note that while these pillars are broad in scope by their nature, they aren't all encompassing. Just because something isn't mentioned in a pillar doesn't mean it's not important or isn't part of a feature. So the 3 pillars they focused on were boundless expression. They want this to be a reflection of you, the player, as well as giving a backdrop for role-playing or just creating something fun. They want it to be deeply social. While solo players can enjoy housing on their own, they want this to enhance the social aspects of the game, which I think is perfect. The next thing they said they wanted to be a long-lasting journey. This isn't something that's just going to exist for one patch and forgotten. They've got a roadmap to carry this on into the future of the game, and housing is supposed to be never finished. It's something that continually you're going to be able to do, and I have to say, guys, that sounds fantastic. Designing zones for the Alliance and Horde players. The Alliance zone will be themed after Elwynn Forest, with features of Westfall and Duskwood. And the Hordes is inspired by Durotar, its coastline, and Ajara. I was a little disappointed we weren't going to be able to just plop down a house where we wanted. A man can dream, but they outlined the reason for this. Basically, they wanted to feel together and not so spread out, because they didn't want people to not be able to run into each other. And they wanted to build a system that would allow you to interact with multiple players. And they said that they would rather have a few good zones than a bunch of bad ones, basically, which makes sense in my book. Plus, they didn't want people to feel like they were stepping out of the world and into their own personal instance. Wow, guys, this actually sounds like all of the complaints I didn't like about strongholds and SWTOR being answered here. These zones will also be broken into about 50 plot neighborhoods that are persistent, so you have neighborhoods that will always be there. So if you want to get houses next to friends, you better be quick. Or you could set up your own private neighborhoods. Blizzard says that there will be public neighborhoods, which the game servers are responsible for creating as needed and maintaining, and private neighborhoods created by groups of friends or guilds to inhabit, progress, and customize together. A lot of this reminds me of Star Wars Galaxies back in the day, where guilds would set up towns or even cities that guilds would build and maintain. This will basically allow for guilds to create their own spaces for events and stuff like that. Number 3, decorations will be in-game rewards. Mostly. Oh god, I'm dying! Now, I had concerns about this. Having dealt with player housing in Star Wars The Old Republic and having all of the best decorations locked behind the carton market, I wanted to see what Blizzard was going to do. When it comes to the decorations, they had this to say. Similarly, there have been discussions in the community on whether housing will be a pay-to-play/win or not, along with other conversations around real-world money. We've been very aligned in our internal conversations that housing is designed to be primarily player-first and not revenue-first. Housing will offer hundreds and hundreds of decorations and house customizations via in-game rewards, but will also offer a smaller number of items in the cash shop as well. This is comparable to how transmogs and pets are currently handled in-game versus the shop. We want to allow players to have as many options as possible for creating their perfect home in Azeroth. Guys, they said cash shops. Oh no, please, Blizzard. I'm not as familiar with how egregious the cash shop is in World of Warcraft versus how egregious it is in Star Wars The Old Republic, but I hope that Blizzard can give us most of the good stuff from in-game activities, because I have a lot of stuff to catch up on. Player housing is for everyone. Blizzard says that they want player housing to be accessible to everyone who plays, and with not a lot of barrier to entry. The article says, as a part of our focus on wide adoption, we wanted to ensure that housing is available to everyone. If you want a house, you can have a house. No exorbitant requirements or higher purchase costs, no lotteries, and no erroneous upkeep. And if your subscription lapses, don't worry, your house doesn't get repossessed. Your houses are also shared amongst your warband, and different characters being able to come and go as you see fit. So your orc character can hang out in your alliance house without a problem. Housing rewards are also shared across your warband, so you'll be able to use your decor collection no matter which character earns it. I think that this is a fantastic move. Giving everyone in the player base access to player housing, as well as lowering the bar for entry, will give the system long legs, as well as the issues with subscriptions. We all know that the player base fluctuates from time to time, and sometimes you can't or don't want to pay that subscription. This ensures that no one, no matter how long you're away, will always have a home to come back to. This information that I'm covering here was released in an article back in February, where they outlined their goals for player housing. But on March 12th, they released another article where they laid out the system in depth. And guys, it's everything that you've ever wanted in player housing. I'm going to play some clips right here so you guys can get a sense of what they talked about in the article. In summary, the system will be split into two modes, basic and advanced. Basic mode will let you place decorations in the world with a click and a drag, and they will snap in 15-degree increments. And they will move around how you would expect them on walls and floors. They will have collision, and you won't be able to slide object inside other things. And decorations will also align with the floor and wall depending on what it is. Like a painting will automatically align to the wall, and a table will always automatically align to the floor. Any small objects like cups and books and food will automatically parent themselves to objects, and you'll be able to easily move them together. So if you have a bookshelf and you meticulously placed all of the books on this bookshelf, you can move the bookshelf without having to take all of the books off of it. But the advanced mode is where it gets really exciting. In the advanced mode, it lets your creativity go wild. It removes collisions. You can put decorations anywhere you want, even shoving them through walls. They even have a mode that will add gizmos like you would have in like Blender or Maya, allowing you to move, rotate, and scale objects whatever way you want. I have to say, this is everything I would expect from a good player housing system. The freedom to move stuff around any way you want, my ADHD brain can't take it. I can already feel myself getting overwhelmed with the choice and not decorating my house at all. But Blizzard just kept cooking with this article. They're adding dyes, so you're going to be able to dye new assets to match their other decorations in the house. Everything from the sheets to the rugs. Sadly, this won't affect like older assets, apparently, but it's going to affect all the new decorations. The last thing they talked about in the article was being able to change the walls and the flooring of your house, even being able to create walls where there weren't any before. They are literally letting you change the layout of the house with no restrictions on styling, letting you mix and match different styles and cultures from all over Azeroth. They even said that the exterior doesn't have to match the interior. You can legitimately have a space that is bigger on the inside than it is on the outside, and vice versa. Apparently, all our houses are TARDISes. Guys, I'm very excited about all this news. Player housing in World of Warcraft has me super excited now. And plus, this news coming out just after I decided to step away from SWTOR is fortuitous, I would say the least. I don't think I'll ever completely leave Star Wars: The Old Republic, but I'm done with it for now unless something drastic happens. World of Warcraft is on the upswing, and I have to say, I'm here for it. This may not be enough to get you reinterested if you already left the game, but this is still exciting. It's so refreshing to see an MMO that has been going for 20 years still innovating with new features. But anyway, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel for more variety gaming content, and tell me in the comments, are you excited about WoW's new player housing? Remember, never trust a hut, always save the blue Twi'leks, Retortion me, and may the Force serve you well. Oh my god, I'm going back to sleep.